Hi, I'm Austin Costello, resident puppet artist at Long Island Children's Museum Theater, and today we're going to be talking about puppets. Yes, puppets. Now, surely everybody at home has played with puppets before, maybe built some puppets, but did you know that puppets have a terrific history all around the world? First of all, a puppet is an inanimate object which somebody, called a puppeteer, makes animate. Now, what does that mean? That means that there is an object that is not alive that an actor called a puppeteer brings to life. Since there have been groups of people living together, there has been puppetry. The first kind of puppet I'm going to show you is the shadow puppet, which goes back thousands and thousands of years. For example, I have my cell phone making a light back here, and this screen, which is much like a shower curtain. Then you take a shadow puppet, which can be cut out, it can be your hands, and you project the light over the puppet, and it creates a shadow. Here you see the Brementown musicians, which are fairly simple cutout. Here's a bird from Southeast Asia, which is very, very intricate. And then from Turkey in the Middle East, here's a man with an umbrella. So shadow puppets can have color, too. Then another kind of puppet is called the marionette, or string puppet, which is controlled from above by frequently wooden rods or wooden handles. And then, from that, you have your puppet strung, in the case of this pterodactyl. And then we have rod puppets. They're called rod puppets because they worked from below using sticks that we call rods. In this case, it's a trigger mechanism puppet, too.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, everyone!
When a lot of people think of puppets, they think of Punch and Judy, which are an example of what's called a glove puppet, which works just by putting your fingers up into the head of the puppet. In this case, I'm doing this. So these puppets can be very, very simple, or sometimes more complex. And then we have full-body puppets like Sheila and Wally, who are puppets that the performer wears. Now you might see these at a sports game or on TV. Like, for example, Big Bird is an example of a full-body puppet, and a hand puppet, which is a great transition to hand puppets. You have surely seen hand puppets all over the place, especially on TV and in films with the work of Jim Henson and the Muppets. Now, I absolutely love hand puppets. I'm most proficient in them. I work for Sesame Street when I'm not at Long Island Children's Museum in the theater, and it is a really, really cool time. Hand puppets are really, really fun and take a lot of actual work to get really, really good at. We're going to get into how to work a hand puppet later on, but for now, let's start making a sock puppet. There are many different ways to make a sock puppet, but how we're going to do it today will require a few things. We'll need a sock, thin cardboard or plastic, a marker, a scissor, glue, and decoration. Before you begin making your sock puppet, you want to have an idea of what you want it to look like. For example, I found this nice colored sock that I had as a spare here in my puppet shop. Now, a very important rule of making sock puppets is do not cut apart anything but a stray sock without your grown-up's permission. Don't go digging through your drawers and cutting up dress socks that may be very expensive or some fun socks that you might need. However, if you find a fun sock that is a stray, he is a great candidate to be a sock puppet. Now, there are a bunch of different ways to begin with a sock puppet. First, by putting it on your arm, and deciding what kind of a mouth you might want. I found that there are a few different ones. There's one where you can tuck in the end of the sock, and you end up with a mouth like lamb chop, like this, kind of a little fish mouth. Or you can pull it out a little bit more and kind of get the stereotypical sock puppet mouth. But today I'm going to teach you how to make a sock puppet in the way that I was taught by one of the Muppet performers, where you can use kind of cardboard or plastic to make a really good, what's called a mouth plate, that you can use with your hand. This guy's a lot more puppety looking and less sock looking. Why, thank you. You're welcome. So here are the materials we need to make our sock puppet. The first thing you want to do is bend your cardboard or plastic in half. This is a really good step to make sure that you have a joint at the back of the mouth for where the puppet's mouth will open and close. Then, once you've had that folded in half, you want to trace your hand. And you only want to go up to the L of your thumb, just like this. So you go, whoop, careful not to get any Sharpie on your fingers. And there you have what will be the pattern for your mouth plate. From there, go ahead and cut that out. I'm doing this rather quickly, but you could take all the time and care you want when you make yours. And so now you can see you have an opening and closing mouth, just like that. You want to take your sock and turn it inside out. And where you find that the toe seam is, that's going to go at the back of the mouth, here where my thumb is. So what you want to do is lay your sock out flat, then take your glue. You can use white glue or hot glue. I use hot glue because it's quicker, but please be careful because it's hot for a reason. And I'm going to line it up, load it up with hot glue. If my hot glue gun wants to cooperate, just put a couple of dots. Boop, boop, boop. And another few dots. Boop, 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 boop. And then I'm going to bite this mouth around the tip of the toe. And I'm going to put it right around and close it. Just like that. So your sock should look like this at this point. Then from there, you want to turn the sock right side out again and pull the cardboard into it. Like so. And from there, you have your working mouth plate. Hello. And this is my favorite part when we get to put the finishing details on the puppet. From here, it's totally up to you what you want to use. In this case, I'm going to use half a styrofoam egg and some fake fur. And for the pupils on the eyes, I'm going to use chair pads. You can use buttons, you can use yarn, you can use anything you have stray around the house to make your puppet. Be creative, have fun. And now, we would like to welcome into the world our brand new sock puppet. Now, this puppet has a lot of movability in his head. He gets a whole lot of really fun expressions just by moving your fingers around. And on that, moving your fingers. So to make the puppet talk, a lot of people, when they do hand puppets, they want to talk like this. They want to flap their hand open and up. But the way the Muppets work, for example, they just move the thumb, or as much as they can, just move the thumb. So try doing that. Try just moving your fingers and thumb and go, hello, hello, 1, 2. Now let's count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now the trickiest of them is always 7, because it's 7, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the more you do it, the better you're going to get. And with your sock puppet, you have a great reason to practice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thank you for counting with me and for building a new me and friends for me too. Now, sock puppets and all kinds of puppets can be a lot of fun, but they are really used for telling stories. When you watch any of Sesame Street or the Muppets or any films that have puppets in them, they're all being used to tell stories. So now that you have a sock puppet, you and friends and your folks at home, anybody can make a sock puppet, and you can tell stories with them. You can do fairy tales or nursery rhymes or make up your own stories. What kind of things do your puppets like? What do they not like? Do they like eating crazy food? Do they live somewhere really fun? Are they mad? Are they happy? Are they sad? What do they do for a living? You have so many creative options you could do with sock puppets now. So go out and tell stories and have a whole lot of fun together.